New York City in 2022 is such a different place than New York City in the 80s and 90s. Imagine New York City in 1990. Rap is just becoming a thing. It was a dangerous, scary, exciting, beautiful, dirty, gross place. It was just everything at once. And that is so deeply ingrained into who I am and my DNA. That is exactly how my art comes out. Sometimes it's beautiful, sometimes it's gross, it's sloppy, it's refined, it's everything. And I love that. No offense to people who paint the same thing over and over, but I could just never do that. And I honestly think the biggest reason why I can't do that is because of where I grew up. Growing up next to the probably some of the most violent, dangerous people and neighborhoods, right next to some of the greatest wealth the world has ever seen of Manhattan and Wall Street and these businessmen and the whole thing. It doesn't get more different or like opposing. And I love that. I have always loved things that like juxtapose or things that don't go together. There's just something so interesting about that to me. And I really think a big part of my style comes from the idea of seeing this like beautiful architecture next to some of the most raw street art you've seen, next to a bunch of rats running around, next to a prostitute, next to probably some of the most wealthy families and people New York and the world has ever seen. None of this stuff makes sense together. But somehow New York pulls it off. And to all the artists that move to New York and then claim to be a New York artist, go fuck yourself. Seriously. Sorry for cursing, guys, but go fuck yourself. If you never grew up in New York, if you didn't spend your formative years in New York, you're not a New York artist.